Hello everyone, Karen Cecilia here. I've not done one of these for a very long time, but I find it necessary to do it, and I'm going to send it to maybe two persons. And I hope that they will correct this path that them seem to be on. There is an underbelly in every general elections that have never been factored into any election results. And that underbelly has always been the unpredictable. Those people who don't speak, those people who don't turn up in polls, those people who are not loud but have made up their minds about what they're going to do or what they intend to do. Those are the ones that are not seen. Dan Anderson talk about them, and so has the Blue Dot poll. The JLP seem to be now suffering from what the PMP suffered from in 2007 and 2016. And that is, we can't lose. We have it. Them can't win. That syndrome that political parties tend to find themselves in because of their arrogance and lack of due diligence in terms of taking care of the small things.
Have you ever asked yourself what truly decides an election? Is it the massive rallies, the fair speeches, or the shiny poll numbers, or could it be something hidden, something the political parties themselves often forget? Well, we're going to dive deep into a shocking warning from a political organizer, Madam Karen Cross, a warning to the Jamaica Labour Party or JLP that they could be walking on dangerous path, a path that cost their rivals. The PNP, two elections, will break down the key mistakes they are being accused of making, from arrogance and complacency to ignoring a crucial group of voters that she calls the Underbelly. By the end of this video, you'll understand why it is not just about what a party does right, but also about the critical, often overlooked mistakes that can lead to unexpected defeat. But before we get into it, if you find this kind of political insight valuable, make sure to hit that like button, share this video with a friend who loves political commentary, and leave a comment below with your thoughts on what you think makes or breaks an election campaign. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell on so you don't miss out on any of our upcoming deep dives.
In 2007, the PMP had Portia. She can't lose. She's Portia, the most popular politician since Michael Manley. We got this. We don't need to do nothing. And what did they do? Them spend less money, them engage less people, and they went around the country with a small crew of people because them account how much money them are gonna get, how much contract them are gonna get, so them include nobody else. And that went to crap. In 2016, they repeated the same mistake. While the JLP looked weak and wishy-washy, and them started to talk about the JLP now have no money, and Andrew Holness now inspire nobody. The things that PMP was talking about in 2016. And it is those things that led them to believe that they had it covered and nothing could unravel it for them. And so they proceeded. They left out people. Them stopped spending money. The whole of them start put on the money for themselves. Everybody have the Chinese money in some safe or some bag or some place put up for themselves because they weren't engaging people. Them think them win. I remember the night before election in 2016. I was out by Southeast St. Mary helping Maureen Weber winning Southeast St. Mary for Dr. Winston Green. I remember the night before elections, before we all came back into Kingston, some people get together and we're looking at the numbers, and Maureen concluded that we can win by a slim margin. We have a slim margin right now. We're looking at based on not only the canvas, but based on our engagement with several people from several places, people who at first the organization never thought were important in bringing in that. So they were sidelining them until I landed there. I mean, I take full credit for it. I'm not giving the credit to nobody. Maureen will tell you. Until I landed there and started engaging more people, share up whatever it is we have, make sure some things reach more people. And that is what brought it together and gave Winston Green that 5-vote win. The same thing now is what the JLP doing. Them can't lose, we win. That person that can't lose. Whoever can't lose, whoever can't win. We got that because I did this and we do that and when the James can't lose, Ian else can't win. We got this and we got that, and this person can't win, and the whole country this and the whole country that. I wanna doing that. I wanna doing that crap again. I wanna doing it and leaving out aspects of it for it to be able to come together. I was in Northwest Manchester yesterday, and if I never had money with me, God knows what based on what I pick up. I mean, Damien was walking. People love Damien. But there are some little things, simple little things, like engaging a little youth who have a little following behind him and say to him, say, I want you to do X, Y, square, Z leading up to that time. Not a soul to know him. Nobody's ever spoken to him before. It is those little things that brings a campaign together and make it successful. So when you stay out there, cock up on yourself the whole hour. Who are with all the antics, especially the JLP operatives them. We're talking about win already, and we got this, and this man can't win, and this man can't lose. We're going to continue that foolishness. Because if we continue that underbelly, that part where nobody has no idea what will happen with that part is going to escape into into that little hole, that little black hole, and them going to crawl out one by one on election day, and nobody will know what them doing. Nobody. That part. Because people are afraid to spread it out wide and include everybody that you can, that can pick up 1 or 2 votes. Extend it. Not lock it up and cover it up and tighten it up. No. It's extension time. Extension to everybody who have 1 smaddy, everybody who have 2 smaddy, everybody who can talk to 1. I'm making a grave mistake. I'm talking about the JLP operatives, and I don't know if the Prime Minister is paying attention to it, but I am saying there's a grave mistake being made in terms of not opening it up, spread it out, getting more people, including more. So if that 1 person where you're avoiding your constituency, and that 1 person have 2 somebody and walk behind them can influence 1 person, and you're not engaging them, you're taking risk. That risk is you are feeding the beast of that underbelly. I only need to get on the act together, because some of us out here struggle and suffered to bring it this far. We did our part. A whole lot of people did their part. It would be very sad to sooner just sit down there with a fucking stupid self and fuck off with the whole of it. That is what we're planning to do now. Just fuck it all away, because we think we're going to win. Mrs. Holness seat safe, and Bunting are going to lose, and we have this and we have that. We need to get an act together. I'm telling her that. But they're on the ground longer than Uno. Because some of us out here struggle and suffered to bring it this far. We did our part. A whole lot of people did their part. It would be very sad to sooner just sit down there with a fucking stupid self and fuck off with the whole of it. It's too tight. It needs to loosen up. Everything needs to loosen up to engage more people that can bring more people. And if we're not willing to do that, on the own, and we all are screwed, and Mark Golding will become the next Prime Minister of Jamaica and finally get that title to be a title, the next Prime Minister of Jamaica. So, they don't have it. On the cancer, I never want to know. Now, I'm going to send this voice note to 2 persons, and I trust that these 2 persons will ensure that this voice note get to the right people. All right?
It is a tale as all as politics itself. A party is riding high. The polls look great. The leader is popular, and everyone just knows they're going to win the next election. But what if that very confidence is the thing that leads to their downfall? What if They become so certain of victory that they stop doing the things that made them successful in the first place. Thus, the powerful and direct warning that political organizer Karen Cross has issued to the Jamaica Labour Party JLP led by Holness. She believes the JLP is on a collision course with complacency and arrogance. Two traits that she says are eerily similar to what she saw in the People's National Party, the PNP of Mark Golding, just before they lost the elections in 2007 and in 2016. This is not just about a prediction. It is about a wake-up call, a strategic breakdown of what it takes to not just win an election, but to secure it, to protect it from the unseen forces that can turn a sure thing into a shocking loss. Because according to Karen, while the Prime Minister's work is evident and widely supported, the JLP itself is the biggest risk to its own success. The Prime Minister alone cannot win an election. It's the representatives, the operatives, and the countless small actions on the ground that make all the difference. And it's in these areas that she sees some grave mistakes being made. So let us break down the missteps she's highlighting and why they are so dangerous. The first and most critical mistake is that Karen Cross calls the "we can't lose" syndrome. Like they are just overconfident. She points out that the JLP seems to be suffering from the same mindset that plagued the PNP in 2007 and 2016. They have it. They are kind to it. That syndrome. This isn't an abstract feeling. It leads directly to a dangerous lack of action. When a party believes it has already won, it stops putting in the work. It becomes complacent. This syndrome, she explains, is a direct result of arrogance and a lack of due diligence. Operatives on the ground are already talking about winning, about how their opponent can't win and their leader can't lose. They've convinced themselves that the battle is over before it has even begun. The arrogance is a blindfold, preventing them from seeing the small but critical tasks that need to be done to secure victory. One of the biggest consequences of this arrogance is the failure to engage a crucial segment of the electorate. Karen Cross warns that the JLP is making a grave mistake by not broadening the outreach. They are not opening it up, spreading it out, getting more people, including more. And this is where we get to the most fascinating and dangerous part of her warning. The underbelly of unpredictable voters. This is not a group that shows up in the polls. They don't speak loudly on social media. They aren't the ones you see at rallies, but they are there. They have made up their minds and they will crawl out one by one on the election day. These are the unseen voters, and by failing to engage them, by not casting a wide enough net, the JLP is, in her words, feeding the beast of that underbelly. They are leaving a huge number of potential voters to chance because they are so focused on the voters they can see and count. Karen recounts a powerful story from 2016 election, where the PNP, her former party, was initially sidelining people they didn't think were important. But a shift in strategy where they began to engage more people and share resources was instrumental in securing a narrow 5-vote victory in Southeast St. Mary. She sees the JLP doing that same crap again, leaving out aspects that are necessary for the campaign to fully come together. This includes neglecting what she calls the simple little things, like engaging a young person who has a small following, someone who can bring a campaign together and make it successful. But who is being ignored? The young person. The "we can't lose" syndrome and the failure to engage broadly also have a financial component. Karen draws a direct parallel to the PMP's mistakes in 2007 and 2016. She recalls how they spent less money, engaged fewer people, and ran with small crews because they were focused on personal gain, contracts, and putting money aside for themselves. While she doesn't explicitly state that the JLP is doing this with money, she warns that the pattern of believing you've won and therefore not needing to invest sufficiently in outreach is dangerous. Is a dangerous repetition of history. A successful campaign requires a financial investment in people and outreach, not just in high-level message. Right? So, the ultimate lesson for the JLP is the need to go the extra mile. The Prime Minister cannot do it all by himself. The representatives have a responsibility too. Karen's advice is simply and direct. Do not feel comfortable with anything right now. Overwork to reach each and every single voter you can out there. This means not just relying on your base, but actively working to motivate those 30,000 or so JLP supporters who stayed home in the last election. The opposite of this is what she calls locking it up and covering it up and tightening it up, which is a strategy of focusing only on non-supporters and ignoring the potential few new ones. This is the very behavior that will allow the underbelly to grow and crawl out on election day with unpredictable results. So, what does all of this mean? The stakes are incredibly high. Karen Cross' warning is not just a critic; it is a desperate plea to learn from history. The JLP's apparent advantage in the polls is not a done deal. It is an opportunity that can be squandered by the very people who ain't meant to protect it. Failure to address this complacency, arrogance, and lack of due diligence could lead to the unthinkable, a loss that will make Mark Golding the next Prime Minister. This is not about JLP's rival being strong. It is about the JLP failing to live up to its own potential. Well, okay, as Karen herself says, it's extension time. It's a time to spread the word, to engage everyone, to not leave a single stone unturned. The future of the party and perhaps the country hangs in the balance, and it will be decided not by the polls but by the actions or inaction of the people on the ground. Good people, thank you for watching, and remember to like, share, and comment your thoughts in the comments below. I'll see you next time. This is the Diaspora.